Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, depending on which part of the world you're at. I'm Jackson Tan, Coach of the month of March, part of Life Coach University's Paid Forward Talks. We call it PIF Talks. The topic in March is me, myself, and I. Well, actually, it's you, yourself, and you. Some quick logistics before we start. So if you do have any questions during the session, please type them into the Q&A box below. And during the session, if you have any comments or insights you would like to share, you can type it in the chat. I will try to get to them throughout the session. I also would like to encourage each of you to be present. Yes, just you and me, as if I'm in this room with you. Since we're going to spend the next 10, 15 and stay with me, play together and have fun. I'm Jackson Tan. I'm an entrepreneur, a wellness advocate, and I coach successful executives to reconnect with themselves and in the process, rejuvenate and achieve clarity so clear that they can successfully mount their next breakthrough, whether it is in their career, their business, or life itself. For those who joined us yesterday, I would like to know if there is any one action that you have taken. And if you have any, I'm curious to know, please drop them into the chat box. We know that when we learn and discover new things, we will lose them very quickly if we do not take action and practice them. Without action, there will be no elevation and progress in each of us. So let's bear that in mind. Please allow me to share with you a story. When I was young, I watched my dad work very hard. He was a sales manager for a company, and he would need to drive up north to Malaysia and down south back to home on a regular basis. He was the person that was responsible to bring in the money so that he can feed his family, me included. Mom was the only person, well, generally the person who took care of us, most of the time with helper. I remember probably from I was 6 years old onwards, there was always a neighbor helping my mother. Why? Because we are a family of 3 boys and a girl, 4 against 1. I'm a parent myself. I have a boy and 2 girls, and I can understand how challenging that can be. Imagine 3 boys, 1 year after the other. Super active when we're young, always running around, doing silly things, as you can expect, boys do. And that was really a man of few words. When we were naughty and mischievous, sometimes the patience can be breached. And when the patience was breached, I always remember us ended up being beaten and punished by the cane. I would be the one who is always free, standing there frozen, not moving and awaiting for the cane to come. But for my brother, he would run around and my mom would go around chasing him, hunting him down with a cane. Thinking back, that was probably the smarter thing to do. When dad was around and if his patience was breached, oh, that would be crazy. I remember that he would immediately take off the belt, literally the belt, and will just whack us. That would have left a mark on our legs and wherever the belt hits you. But please do not report my dad to the police, else he might go to jail. We have forgiven him already. There were other times that we do more silly things, and mom would use the cane to chase after us. I remember another incident, and I'm looking at the notes because I want to ensure that I deliver everything and I don't miss anything out. As I was saying, there was another incident whereby we were so mischievous, we chopped up a brand new bicycle that was a gift to my brother because he did well in the exams. And when mom came back and found out about that, trouble begins. We were obviously hunted down with a cane, after which we were asked to stand still and face a wall. Sometimes we would be asked to kneel down and actually pull our ear just like that. All right. So these were common incidents that occurred very regularly, I would say, in a family of 3 boys. When I had children myself, I believe that the approach was normal and I did the same. I can still remember the first time when I whacked my boy. Well, he's 16 today. When my patience was breached because he was crying or because I was frustrated, I naturally just whacked him, but using my hand. I'm sure it was painful for him, although he might not recall, but it was equally painful to me, deep in my heart. But the question is, when it is painful for him and still painful for me, why did I still do it? Do you recall similar incidents in your life whereby you did something, it inflicted pain on yourself, but yet you still do it and you continuously do it without even realizing? So I encourage you to reflect on similar incidents that have happened to you and think, why is it that we continue to do some things but yet never change despite it inflicting pain on us? I believe our experiences when we're young, when we're growing up, watching how our parents do things or guardian do things, have such profound impact on us that it is stored somewhere in the subconscious, and how we show up after we grow up is driven subconsciously by the program that is embedded there very strongly. When we reconnect with ourselves through stories, we will have the opportunity to realize what needs to be challenged and if there's any programs that needs to be upgraded. Obviously, we are affected by negative experiences, but certainly we are also influenced by positive experiences. I remember when we were young, we always had our meals together as a family. Dad and mom ensured that we had dinners as a family, all of us, and meals together in the weekends. When it was time for dinner, there was no compromise. Everyone better drop whatever you're doing and come to the dining table and have dinner together. That positive experience is embedded in me, and I, in turn, is practicing that in my family. And that is something that I enjoy very much, because it is during the meal time that you have a chance to connect at a deeper level, at a more relaxed level with your family members. All right. So things that happen before impact you negatively or positively, it is there. And when you realize, then you take action to either replace them or keep them. Okay, so I've gone on for more than 10 minutes right now. So I just would like to check if there's any questions. Let me take a look. Okay. All right, I have a question from one of you. And the question is, it seems like you went through life being abused. How is your relationship with your parents now? When I recollect the stories, that's when I have the stories in this detail. But before I recollect the stories, I actually do not have the stories in such detail, and I don't recall any animosity against my parents. It might sound like abuse in today's world, but I think in the olden days, it seems to be normal. As for me, I didn't feel that I was abused. I felt it was normal, and that's the reason why I did it to my kids. And my relationship with my parents is fine. Somehow, it must be because of other influences, it overrides this negative experience that I have with my parents. So I look at it as in a glass of water, if the salt is the negative and sugar is a positive, if you have 1 spoon of salt in the glass and 10, 20, 30 spoons of sugar in the glass, what would you feel? Certainly sweetness, because the sweetness will overpower the saltiness. But does it mean that the saltiness is not there? It is still there, just that the condition, overall condition, is sweet. Hence, that negative emotion is embedded somewhere. All right, doesn't mean that it's disappeared, but it's somewhere. So that's how I see things happen to me, and with that negative things that happen to me, because the fact that I've gone through life with much more positive sweetness in life, my life become much better. Okay, so it's seems like a quiet day today. I don't see other questions, and I would encourage all of you to reflect on similar incidents in your life and journal it down. If we do this every day, and by the end of March, you'll be amazed at what a collection of stories you have. And that's part of the process to reconnect with yourself. Okay, I see another question here. Okay, I was about to end, but I will take this question. So I'm a dad of 2 daughters. Yes, I admitted to caning them. You're not alone. When they were overboard, but never use my hands to hit them. The hands is for sayang. Okay, this is a word in Malay called, the hand is for love. But when you use something else to hit them, they look at it as something different. All right. It is certainly, whether you're using a hand or using a cane doesn't make that act correct. If I were to turn back the clock, I would not. It is because when a friend told me this, he said, when you punish and inflict pain on your children, what was your intention? And generally, the intention is, I would like to teach them. The next question is, do you think when you inflict pain on them, they learn, or would their mind shut? Look at your intention, and if your intention has been met. And when you inflict pain on your children, you have naturally inflicted pain on yourself too. So if it's painful for both parties, and yet you don't hit your objective, why continue to do it? A friend told me, you inflict pain on animals. That's what the animal trainers do. So I'll just stop there and allow you time to reflect on the action. Okay, I will take another question. I'm actually watching the time too. I want to ensure that I don't overrun the 20 minutes. Okay, that's another question. When you remember what you did to your son, how do you feel? Do you have regret doing it to your son now? Regret, yes. But as I reflect deeply, there is no point brooding over my regret. I ask myself this question: what can I do moving forward? Right? Past experiences are important for you to reflect, but let them go. Don't beat yourself up and move on. All right. So it's now time for Jackson Tan's tip of the day. Yesterday, I told you when you wake up to say good morning to you very loudly, as if you're speaking to a lover. Now, while you're still on bed, as your mind transitions from the different frequencies, vibration, you get through this theta state. That is the state, the best state, like hypnosis, to reprogram your subconscious. And in that state, just reinforce and change the program in your mind. Say things like, I'm loved. I deserve all the love. Life is ease. I'm enjoying it. I'm good enough. And use this opportunity to reprogram your subconscious so that it supports your external life. Okay, so thank you again. It's my pleasure to have you join us today. I'm Jackson Tan, Coach of the Month for March, and this is part of Life Coach University 365 Days Paid Forward Talks. I will see you tomorrow, same time, same link. Goodbye.